Well, hello, my loves, and happy Sunday to you. I had so much fun. I got lost. I played. I did all the things that I wanted to do, and I'm just filled with joy. And that's what our creative time is all about, hopefully. That's kind of, I can't wait to talk to you about that at the end of the video of where this piece led me and the act of creating and all that kind of stuff. But first of all, we need to talk about supplies. And I used a heck of a lot of them for this project. So I'm going to do my best. I haven't looked at the video or anything like that. And so sometimes I remember, oh yeah, I used that. Because I was in it. I was in the moment. And I was just grabbing for all kinds of things and experimenting and saying, what if I did this? I want this to be different. I want this to be truly me. I want this blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to give you what I used, what I think I used. And then if there's anything that I missed, it will be on the list of supplies, and the link to the supplies is down below in the YouTube description box. You can click on that. All the supplies will pop up and more detail and all that kind of stuff. So again, below in the YouTube description box is the link for supplies. Let's take a look at the project. So she's beautiful. And I'm going to explain a little bit more at the end of the video about her and why I chose the things that I chose, but I love her. Love her. Okay, so let's just get to the supplies because there's a few. There's a lot. Let's start with some of the, let's just do these. I used a couple of different palette knives, small ones for more detailed. This one was the queen for the day and just gave me some really grungy goodness. This is a standard, just kind of. Brayer, Posca pen, soft pastel, General's charcoal pencil. I did use a couple of different sizes of brushes and a very small one to get my little tiny flowers. I used some sepia, that was for the base, the table, and some raw umber. This is Golden High Flow. I used some ink, carbon, black, vivid red orange, and quinacridone magenta. That was for the vase. I used my handy dandy scraper. This is a dough scraper that I got on Amazon that bakers use, that I cut, it's bigger, cut it up, and I have several of them in all different sizes. I used some golden So Flat in yellow. I needed that pop in the flowers. Some Nova Color Phthalo Turquoise. These are the ones that I started out with for the background. So I was wanting to pull some things that I hadn't used in a while. And there was a time when I was on a kick with these two colors, Plum Suede and Thicket. So pretty. And I rekindled a love for them as well today. But these are by Deco Art. Then I did a little bit of Moody Blue by Deco Art, excuse me. Blick Matte Acrylic Green Blue Light, Dark Green Light, and then Yellow Orange Light. Yeah, I used a lot, you guys. I know it's kind of, but you know, sometimes that's what you do. I used some Green Gold by Liquitex, Soho, Lime Green, of all things. Lime Green, it hadn't even been opened, and Olive Green for my leaves and my versions of leaves. Pebeo Matte Pub in the rose pink, orange, bright orange, raw umber. Blick Matte Acrylic paint in black. My gesso texture paste for the vase. Matte gel and fluid matte medium. That was a lot. That was a lot of supplies. I'm really honestly looking to see if I've forgotten any. Because I had so many. I think that is it. Okay, those are the supplies that I used for today's project. Oh no, stencils. I used a lot of those too. Let me grab those. Oh my goodness. Okay. I used the Mosaic Stencil. These were for the kind of pattern. I did kind of some reverse stenciling and regular stenciling in the background to really work to get some pattern without it covering up the paper. So I used that one. I used the Mediterranean Duo stencil. Those are the pattern ones that I use. These are, you can obviously tell they're two of my favorites because they're so gonky and grungy. And then I used the Little Flowers Status. Love this one. So pretty. And then another favorite is my Daisies 1 and 2 stencil. Those stencils will all be on sale for you this week. And there's quite a few of them. The collage papers that I used were random bits. Things that I had in my stash. I just went, and I have a lot of stash in my, there's a lot of paper. So I just pulled from that. And I think that is it. If I forget anything, again, I will have it in the list of supplies that's on the blog. The link to the blog is down below in the YouTube description box. All right, enough of the supplies. Let's jump in and start creating. All right, my loves. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Have so much joy. And it is so me, and it's such an expression of where I'm at right now, creatively and everything. Just personally, I just love this piece. And that was the whole point, was to show up and be me and not overthink anything. And sometimes that's a real challenge for anything. And I think I've been talking about this for a couple weeks, so obviously I'm dealing with it myself. But we've been talking about it in the membership as well, and how, and it's really resonating with so many, how we can show up to create, or not even just to create, just life in general, and overthink things like crazy. And I wanted to show up and just do the thing and not overthink it. And normally I have a plan, I have an inspiration, I have something, some idea. I didn't have really any of that today. I wanted to practice my florals. I'm working, you can see I got a couple, I'm working on some florals, really trying to make them my own style, my own voice, the thing that when I look at them, they make me happy. And that's what this one does. It does that. And so I'm just super pleased. So let's take a look at the project real quick. I've got like a tickle in my throat. My allergies are crazy right now. But the papers in the background are yummy. And I made bold decisions on them because I really wanted them to stand out. And I left showing a lot of the papers, which sometimes I really struggle with. And sometimes I don't want them to show. I want them there for texture, and I want just little tiny bits. But I really wanted a lot of the papers to show. Like the playing card down here. I love that. I love that unexpected part of this piece. And that's what I wanted. I wanted this to be unexpected, bold, a little daring. I wanted some soft, but I wanted that, that kind of contrast between the soft and the kind of grungy. All those things are very much me and my style. And I just wanted to play and explore with that a little bit more and go a little bolder for me. And that's what I did, and I love it. And so here it says courage, and that is why that's what it takes to really jump in and create something that maybe doesn't make sense to anyone else except you. It takes courage, and it takes courage to just show up and not overthink it and just go for it. Just grab the things. Who cares? Why do we overthink? Why do I overthink things so much? Why do I think that it has to meet somebody, who has to like it? Me. That's it, period. And so that's what we've been talking about in the membership this month. And I have been truly inspired, and this is a reflection of that. So I think oftentimes we can talk ourselves out of creating, or out of anything really. If when we start overthinking it, like, oh no, you can't do that. You don't really know. You haven't painted long enough. You've never mixed that kind of color. You've never used that product. You've never, and that can apply to anything in our lives. When we're trying to go for a new job, who are you to think that you could fulfill that position? Or who are you to think that person would love you? All of those kinds of mind game things that happen regularly in life happens in our art as well, and vice versa. And I this month have been just throwing caution to the wind and saying yes to lots of things. Things that I probably would be like, I don't know, I don't think so, but just saying yes. And what that does is that helps me find me. that helps me know, like if I say yes, and whatever experience I'm doing, whether it's life experience or art experience, if I say yes and I do it and I don't like it, and it was, and not because it was too difficult or because I was a beginner, but because it just didn't resonate with me or sit with me, or like going camping, I know, like I can appreciate nature, and I'll go out in the daytime and walk the paths and things, but camping, not my thing. And I know that because I've done it. And we have to say yes to things. We have to have some courage to know that even if something doesn't work or doesn't go well or doesn't sit with us or doesn't resonate with us, it's not a waste of time. It teaches us something. It teaches us who we are. And it takes courage to say yes. It takes courage to say yes to our art, to like today. I grabbed everything. I wanted to combine things that I hadn't thought about doing. Like I didn't want to do my typical thing. Like instead of shading the table space, I used acrylic ink to create this shadow. Instead of overdoing the flowers and putting 100 different blooms in there, I did just a few. All these different things that I did differently taught me something today. And I did it with a lot of abandon. Just go for it. And the second I started to doubt myself, I'm like, what difference does it make, Sean? What difference does it make if it doesn't turn out the way that you think it does? Could you fix it? Sure. Who is it going to offend? Who's going to be hurt with the fact that your piece of art doesn't turn out? And I think that process, if I know for me, and I know a lot of you deal with this too, because I've had lots of conversations in the last couple of weeks over this subject of being afraid to just try things, to do whatever. And in the process of doing whatever, there's two things that happen. We learn what we like and we learn what we don't like. Right? And so what's the answer then? To do more of what we like. But we will never know unless we say yes to things. And I'm the worst at saying yes to things. I like my routine. I like everything in a box, and I'm learning to say yes. And it's not easy, and for some it's easier. Like my husband can say yes to anything. That's not my personality type. I like my little cocoon. But if you are struggling with your art or making decisions about things, try to say yes to something. Say yes to showing up. Say yes to a new color choice. Say yes to a new material in your work. Say yes to a lunch date. Say yes to a job offer. Whatever it might be. We have to show up and say yes for us to find our voice, to find our passion, to find our way, to find out who we are, to find out what we like. We have to show up and say yes, whether it's here in this creative space or in your life. And I am guilty. I'm guilty of saying, oh no, I don't have time. Whatever. But if I show up and I say yes, I'm always like, oh, well, that was great. Okay, I'll do that again. Because two things, we learn what we like and we learn what we don't like. And then we do more of what we like. We keep saying yes. We keep trying new things. What's the worst that could happen? And what if you said, what if? What if I tried this? And you followed that thread, like, what if I tried this? What's the worst that could happen? I want you to ask yourself those questions as you create and as you walk through your day. What if? it's an act of courage. It really is. And that's why I put courage on this piece, because it's always an act of courage when we try something new, when we step out of our comfort zone. But it's always in those places when I've learned my best lessons. So ask yourself, what if? Show up and say yes. And then what you like, do more of. That's a courageous, courageous life right there. All right, my friends, that is all I have for you today. Again, all the supplies will be listed down below in the YouTube description box. The stencils will be on sale. I hope that you show up with courage today. In whatever area you need to show up with courage. Whether it be here in your creative space or in your life or in a relationship or a specific situation, show up with courage and say yes. And then say, well, what if? What would happen if? And then see what happens. See what you like and see what you don't like. It's all we can do. It's all we can do. Hope your Sunday is restful and peaceful and joyful. And I hope that you always, always know that you are loved.